and we will be able to follow the order paper, which is prepared by the clerk and approved by the speaker, as you have on your phones and the hard copies that are presented to you. Then the debates and motions, probably like I will take you through the speaking rules. A member of the House will only speak when called upon by the speaker, and they should address the chair or the speaker in respect.
Faraja TV, authentic African voices.
Seconder will be given a minute. Then a contributor from the audience, from the House, will be given 2 minutes to submit on any motion. Then the conduct during the session. The speaker, with the power entrusted to him by you all, will not encourage any insults or personal attacks or any language that is not parliamentary. Then there will be no cross-talking or interruptions unless you have a point of order. But then the point of order is given to you at the discretion of the speaker. So you have to speak when you're called upon or given permission from the speaker. Then the decision will be taken by the majority as we will go to the voting to passing of the motions that you have already. And really, I think that's it. But also a recap on the code of conduct is that we shall respect each other. We shall really debate the crux of the matter and not personal attacks or other issues that might be insensitive. I think that's it. And on that note, I would like to call on the House. If, for example, you really need an amendment on the rules of procedure that I have talked about or I have raised, you can put them forward. And when you raise any amendment to the rules of procedure, then the 2/3 of the House must be in support of that amendment. So if there is any, I would like to hear from you. Yeah, we have one.
Thank you very much. You talk of moving motions which take 3 minutes. I think moving of motion, to the best of my knowledge, as a speaker of the lower local government in the sub-county, moving motion just take 30 seconds. And the secondment takes just 5 seconds, to the best of my knowledge. I think this is as per the rules of procedure for local government. So since this is parliament, I don't know how that one would be. But as per the standard rules of procedure in local government, moving motion takes 30 seconds. Thank you very much.
Maybe to get into that before I let on the House to decide. The idea behind this arrangement is that, well, the person that moves the most historical background, or they will give context, they will give the justification for why they are moving the motion. So that, and maybe some statistical data, that's the reason as to why they are given the 3 minutes. Then it will be upon the House to, let's say, decide on whether the motion is adopted or it is not. I don't know whether you understand me.
Thank you. Before I speak, since we have taken tea, we need water on the ground. Yes, life is a bit very hectic. What my colleagues were saying is a bit okay, but I want to assure him that we are beyond the local government. We have reached to sub-regional youth parliament, okay? And about election of the speaker, we are going to elect the speaker if at all people who already are there by show of interest that I want to be elected. Since we joined here, some of us were doing campaign illegally here, I know them. That's why the moving of the motion will take 3 minutes. Maybe when someone is giving the background of what is going to do. But if not because of that, it takes less minutes, as my colleagues were saying. 2 or 3, as we are going to debate on those 3 topics as we have selected. It was a bit bad on the side of the organizers for us, because you would have stated for us these 3 points or these 3 topics based on the selected district you have chosen. Let me say you should have given number 1 to Greater Nebi, number 2 to Arua, and then number 3 to Koboko, Yube, and Ajumani, so that when we are coming here, we should be well equipped on what we are supposed to do. But giving points abruptly like this to cram, some of us have this button for you cannot even access what is going on. So it becomes very hectic for us to debate as expected. That is my submission. To my notice that next time when you're organizing this thing, send for us the motion before so that we oversee it, we discuss. When you are coming here, you see us walking like lawyers or debating based on the articles. Thank you.
Maybe let me first address these issues. You might want to ask something that I am going to address. Okay, sure.
Thank you, moderator. In the first place, I would love to disagree with my brother. Distributing the topics according to the district is not good. First of all, we are one as West Nile. We don't need to say this one should have gone to Greater Nebi, maybe to Arua and the rest. 2, I think the idea of saying we move a motion in 3 minutes time is good, because you can't move a motion without justification. You need to justify why you have proposed it like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, 1, I think you have addressed an issue that he raised. But also he talked about water. I think it's going to come around within a few minutes. But also the issues that you have on your order papers. I think the coordinator reached out to every representative of every district. We have shortened them to 3, only that we will be out of time since this is a half-day event. And we booked this place for only a half a day. So that's really why. But if you get to the order paper, you will realize that all those issues cut across to the 8 or 9 districts of West Nile. On that note, I think we shall proceed to the election of the speaker. And maybe some guidelines here. Well, 1, I will get nominations, yeah, from you, the House. You nominate a speaker, then you're seconded by someone, but also the person that you are nominating will have to agree on whether he or she wants to stand for the speakership race. But after that, we are not going to elect the clerks to Parliament, and the idea is that the people that are not going to make it through the speakership race will become clerks to this Parliament. I think we can start. So who is nominating who as a speaker? Oh, before I continue, do you unanimously agree with the rules of procedure as the House? Okay. Nominations for please.
Good morning. I honor the gathering. I'm going to nominate Amazi Sarah for the position of speakership. Amazi Sarah. Amazi Sarah.
Sarah, where is Sarah? Okay, do you allow the nomination? Who is seconding Sarah as the Speaker of the House? You are? You are. Okay.
Honorable colleagues.
That is the second nomination? Yes. Okay, sure.
So, honorable colleagues, good afternoon. So, I would like to nominate Honorable Otera Robert to help us as our speaker for the deliberations today.
Where is Honorable Robert? Do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I do accept.
Okay, who is seconding I think he's here. Just is here.
I, Honorable Ofoirot Rogers, hereby second the nomination of Honorable Otera Robert as our Speaker for the West Nile Youth Parliament. Thank you.
Okay. So there is Honorable Sarah and Honorable Robert. Kindly, if you are speaking, please stand up and introduce yourself within seconds, and then
Thank
you
you.
can
Call
proceed.
me Emmanuel Ogairoth. House, allow me nominate my brother here, Ivan Lakisa.
Honorable Ivan Lakisa, do you allow or accept the nomination?
Yes, I do accept.
Who is seconding Honorable Lakisa?
Protocol observed. I remain Right Honorable Chanpura George Bush, Immediate Councillor from Pakwasa County and the Speaker of the Council of Pakwasa County Local Government. I do rise up to second Honorable Ivan Lakisa.
Okay. Any other nominations? So we have 3 contenders of the speakership race. Well, there are white ballots that are going to pass through. Here they are. And they are just here. And before they pass through, I will give 2 minutes. 2 minutes to each contender of the speakership race to come here and give us their manifesto within 2 minutes. I'll begin with, yeah.
My dear honorable members of this August House, my name is Amazi Sarah. I come from Maracha district. I am a young advocate, a leader, aspiring for the position of speakership of this parliament. I believe through me, I love to advocate issues of the young people. I understand the proceedings of a true parliament. I am a district youth councillor for Maracha district, and I have attended national symposiums of the youth, and I think through me, in upper stages, issues that we are going to discuss are going to be lifted, are going to be represented, and I will ensure that in this parliament, facts, I am informed, I have informations, I know issues concerning the young people are public domain, and I believe that whatever thing, the guidance that is going to take us through in this parliament is going to be very okay, And I wouldn't say a lot because I still don't have the mandate, but I have the rightful position. In me, you can see the speaker, the person who will control everything well. Believe in a young girl. Thank you. If you decide me, you will enjoy the parliament, and in the next stage, you also love to have me again. But if you feel it is also important for some other person, I will also participate in the debates because I'm good at that. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Otera Robert. I'm a young leader, an advocate, and someone who is so much interested in the development issues that are happening around me, in the country, and globally. I do present myself for the position of the speaker for this particular sitting. If you look around, we are people from diverse backgrounds. We have people from Pakwach, people from Nebi, Zombo, Mariokolo, Arua, Koboko. If you look at the gender, we have, men, we have men or ladies. If you look at, our statuses as well, there are those who have smartphones and those who do not have. Now, to bring balance to all these differences, you need a speaker who is competent, who is calm, who is considerate, to ensure everyone is accorded, equal chance to present themselves. Of course, I do ask you all to vote for me, and I'm also ready for any outcome. Okay, I do credit Sarah, I do credit Ivan. They are all great people. Better may be the best. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Honorable, on the floor, please. You are a great person. Yeah. At this.
Good morning, honorables. Oh, it's already afternoon. Oh. Call me Lakisha Ivan. I am from Pakwach here, but of course, I'm honored to be nominated for the speakership race of this mighty house, and I wouldn't shut down from this calling. I have worked with the NGO, that is Gospel Operation International, as an advocate for youth in the Greater North. So from that, I believe I have enough experience in the issues that affects the youth, and I will be the best person to push your deliberation to another level. So I'm also as well aspiring leader. Yeah, I'm aspiring for the national youth chairperson in the youth. So I believe that this will be a stepping stone for both your voices and as well the collectiveness of the people of West Nile. Let's do aside with the issues of other differences. When we are in for the issues that affects the young people in West Nile, it cuts across. Therefore, it needs a person with a cohesive ability to look deeper into all the major issues, ignoring all other differences. That is none other than Honorable Lakisha Ivan. So, when you cast your vote to me, I am always a person who never disappoints. Thank you all.
Honorable Lakisha, a person who never disappoints. Yeah, I also realize that the aspirants are from one side of the house. I don't know what is happening to my right side. Well, I think we shall go into it right now. We have 3 names, and that is Honorable Sarah, Honorable Robert, and Honorable Ivan. These are the papers that you're going to write the name of the person that you think will steer the leadership of this house in a better way. Members of the house who are outside, please kindly step in. We are headed into the voting exercise, and we want it to be a participatory exercise so that it is inclusive. Thank you. So as you can see, as transparent as this is where you're going to cast or like throw in your ballot. You can see it's empty really. Yeah. So we will move from person to person so that you drop in your vote. Then after that, I will encourage, or I would like to see the people who have nominated the honorable speakers, the contenders of the speakership race to come forward, because you're going to act as their agents, right? As you are counting the votes. Honorable, did you get a... Sure. Are we ready? Okay, sure. Hold on.
Thank you very much. I would want to inquire whether this is still a primary election or a general election.
Oh no, this is not. This is the final election. Yeah. Okay. We are collecting the votes. If you have nominated the candidate, please step forward and. Maybe before, as my colleague is stepping forward, once again, welcome to the West Nile Sub-Regional Youth Parliament. When the session is in progress and you agree with what the speaker or with what any person from the audience is submitting, you'll be able to stamp your feet and not to clap your hands, right? Okay, thank you. We'll go to the vote count now. Again, as you can see, we have three contenders. That is Honorable Sarah, Honorable Robert, and Honorable Ivan. Yeah, let's go.
Ivan, Sarah, 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 Robert. This is an invalid vote. Someone wrote Sally. It's an invalid vote. Someone wrote Honorable Sally. This is an invalid vote. Sarah. 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 Robert. Sarah. Ivan. 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 Sarah. Sarah. Robert. Sarah. Sarah. Ivan. 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 Robert. Ivan. 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 So it's folded the paper. Ivan. 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 Sarah. Sarah. Ivan. Sarah. Ivan. Robert. Sarah. Sarah. Ivan. Sarah. One more. Ivan. So I think we can count. You have to raise it up and then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Honorable Sarah has 19 votes. Honorable Sarah, 19 votes. Robert, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Robert has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I take this moment to declare Honorable Lakisa Ivan as the Speaker of the 8th Subnational City of West Nile.
Stamp your feet, please. Stamp your feet. We got one invalid vote. The speaker and the clerk kindly step backward. The other two should also yeah. Maybe as they step at the back for again, let me reiterate what I said earlier on. When you are in agreement of what is being mentioned or what is being spoken about, you could stamp your feet. We do not encourage derogatory language, and also your arguments should be rooted in facts. This is an internet generation. I can see 90% of you have smartphones. Please Google your facts. Give us some data when you are flaunting your views. Then be time conscious once again. The mover of the motion will have 3 minutes. The seconder will have 1 minute. Then contributions from the House, from other members, will take 2 minutes. When you are going to present your views, kindly stand up, mention your name. Maybe you can mention your jurisdiction or the constituency that you represent. It could be a district, it could be PWDs, you could be a member of the civil society, you could be a part of the partners. So mention what you represent within a few seconds. Yeah, that should be like 5 seconds. Then you get straight to the point. We would have loved you to come forward, but then the stage is going to be reserved for the speaker and the 2 clerks. So you will be able to stand where our camera will be able to get you, because we are live and we need, the world is watching you, so we need to see you when you're submitting. Stand up, measure and get into it within 2 minutes, right? Thank you so much. I look forward to the fruitful deliberations that are going to come out from all of you all. Have a nice session once again. Motion movers, you could come and register with the sergeant at arms. And then when the speaker is going to come in the house, the sergeant of arms will guide so that you all stand up. And when the speaker has come or has sat, we will have an opening. You will have the anthems, the national anthem, the East African anthem. We are going to have only one stanza of the two. Then we will get into a quick opening prayer. Then we will have remarks on behalf of the organizers. We'll have someone representing Faraja African Foundation who will give their opening remarks within 3 minutes, and then the House shall officially begin. We have one motion mover. Anyone interested, please register with the Sergeant at Arms. If you're interested in moving motion 2, that goes a motion to urge local governments in West Nile to develop an environmental protection plan in refugee host communities, especially now that climate change is an existential crisis. Please step forward and register with the Sergeant at Arms. If you're also interested in moving the third motion that goes, motion of the West Nile Youth Parliament urging the government to involve young people in the government's key decision makers, since they are the majority of the population. Please step forward as well. Kindly note that if you are a motion mover, you will give us justification for why you will just justify why you're moving that motion by giving us statistical data, but can give us a historical background and give us some context. Then if you are seconding the motion, really, it should take like even less than a minute, yeah? Stand up, mention your name, second the motion, and then the speaker will call on the House to contribute. And like I said, if you're contributing, please stand up, mention your name, tell us where you're coming from, or the constituency that you're representing, and then give us your views that are rooted, yeah? Thank you once again for coming. You're most welcome.
Honorable members, Right Honorable Speaker in the House.
Before we sing the national anthem to start our proceedings of the Parliament, we'll request the Speaker to swear in. He has the authority to lead the House. We'll request for the Bible and
I, Honorable Lakisha Ivan, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will at all times well and truly serve the Republic of Uganda in the office of the Speaker of the Rwenzori Regional Youth Parliament, and that of the West Nile Regional Youth Parliament, and that I will support and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as by law established. So help me God.
We will all remain standing to sing the national anthem. O Uganda. Always stand. E Mungu taomba uilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Let's bow our head and we pray. God, in your infinite mercy, you have given us the offices of leaders, that the office of young leaders who have come to debate issues that are paramount for the youth. We grant you to bless them, open their minds as we go through the parliament session, to bring in and out issues that will help the youth of West Nile, through Christ our Lord. Amen. Can get seated. These are items that will take us through the parliament session. We shall have opening remarks on behalf of the governors of the Youth Parliament, remarks from the chief guest. We shall have our first motion. Our first motion is motion urging the government address the escalated mental disorders that have skyrocketed as a result of drug abuse and unemployment in young people. Our second motion is motion to urge local governments in West Nile to develop an environmental protection plan in refugee host communities, especially now that climate change is an existential crisis. Our motion 3, motion of West Nile Youth Parliament urging the government to involve young people in the governance and affairs of the country as key decision makers, since they are the majority of the population. We'll have discussions, then adjournment of the House.
Overruled. Overruled. Can I have a member to move a motion to adopt the order paper? Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, procedurally, a speaker does not share podium with clerk to council or any other persons, with the exception of sergeant at arm. I think procedurally, our speaker is not safe and should be given a space. And also the seating arrangement is not as per the rules. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Honorable. Honorable members, the procedure issue is raising is actually very essential, though for the purpose of our own arrangement here, we thought it necessary for us to be like this, and for this very parliament, this sitting has been adapted as part of what will guide us. Therefore, I think we shall not be in a position to disorganize. I'm sorry, Honorable, and I think everyone is contented with this because we feel safe and we have adopted this kind of sitting for this session. Okay? Yeah. Can I have Honorable Member to raise a motion to adopt the item on the order paper? Yes, can I have one out of any of us here to raise a motion to adopt the items on the order paper for our today's discussion to officially begin? I recommend you start by introducing your name so that we are able to capture the detail best. Okay.
I, Honorable Edward Moizi Pachuto, a youth representing Pakwach District in Sub-Regional Youth Parliament, do rise up to move a motion that the order paper for today's sixth sitting of Pakwach Regional Youth Parliament covering West Nile Sub-Region, Friday 11 July 2025, do move.
Secondment.
By names, I'm Radifa from Yumbe District. I second the motion.
Yes, clerk.
Our second item is remarks, opening remarks from the speaker.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I don't know if it is because, you know, there's a saying that when hunger strikes, faces gets a bit gloomy. But it's okay. I know we've had our breakfast. Just our kitchen department, they are doing a lot of work. So I expect you to begin smiling, of course. This is our 8th sitting of West Nile Youth Parliament. And I would like to encourage us all that our contribution matters to the growth of the young people. Our collective voice is the major item that we can use for putting our interest and our concern and for addressing the issues that we go through as a society of West Nile. So I want us today, as we are entering into discussions, to understand that it is our duty to ensure that we speak for the entire West Nile as young people, because the issues that affects the entire youth of West Nile can only and only be addressed by upright mind like that of you and me, my comrades in this august house. So it is a great joy for me today to host all of you here in this journey to start a discussion about the future of the young people. Every single day we are faced with challenges as young people. Every single day as we move in our different villages, we are confronted with issues that subjects us to shedding of tears, from physical being of humankind, environmental and other social issues. And most often we find elders telling us that the youth are the future of tomorrow. That is one phrase I've often believed. Together we can today say youth are the future, and the future is now. That is when we put our collective voice together. So I also wanted us to know that as we are entering into this discussion, let us leave issues of our imbalances, as in maybe there are a lot of advocacy. There is always unity, and it has always been proven beyond reasonable doubt that if young people rise up to confront issues that affect them, consideration has always been taken. We make up 78% of this nation, and this number that should have also go into all developmental ideas, because you cannot only plan for the 22% of the population, ignoring the 78, which is the majority. Therefore, it is our right time to voice our concern as the people of West Nile, and I expect total maturity in this discussion. I also expect us to disagree to agree. Okay? I expect us to disagree to agree without causing commotion in the house, but to an absolute benefit of the entire youth of West Nile. So I wouldn't want to go much longer than this, but I say all this for God and my country. Clap.
Motion number 1, motion urging the government to address the escalated mental disorder that have skyrocketed as a result of drug abuse and unemployment in young people.
Yes, can I have someone to move the motion for the first motion for our today's discussion? Yes, can I have someone to move the motion? Gramia Rogers. There are people who are already selected for this activity. Please, let us not waste time. If you know you are selected for this, let us not. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to first begin by making clarification that Giramia Rogers is not my name. You did not read it very well. When you look at the first name, it is Ofoirot Rogers, and the second is Giramia Maria. Thank you so much. Honorable Ofoirot Rogers is my name, one of the youth leaders of Pakwach District. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House urges the government to address the escalated mental disorders that has skyrocketed as a result of drug abuse and unemployment in young people.
Can I have somebody to second the motion? Giramia Mariam. You can have your seat.
Thank you. I am Gramia Maria, a leader at my own capacity. I second the motion. Thank
You can proceed, Honorable. The move of the motion.
Thank you so much for the secondment. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, when you take a look at the National Population Census of 2024, which gives us a total figure of 45.9 million people in the country, 75% of this population are youth, which is equivalent to 33,750,675 young people. And the majority of this population are being eaten and swallowed up by drug abuse through losing their natural sense and becoming insane. Right Honorable Speaker, drug abuse among the youth in Uganda is a significant concern. And I hereby want to draw your attention to the latest 2020 survey by UBOS, which indicate that approximately 13% of Ugandan youth engage in drug abuse. A study among vulnerable youth found that 35% had used alcohol in the past month, 28% had used marijuana, and 17% reported misusing pharmaceutical drugs. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, specific substances being abused are the following: alcohol with 50% youth engaged, cannabis, locally known as njagas, with 20% of youth, and youth misusing prescription drugs being 15%. I will give you an example from where I come from, that is the sub-county. There, those who have reached that site, you will bear me witness that the only activity that youth are taking seriously is taking alcohol right from the morning up to sunset. The little that they earn, they use it for going for these drugs, which is spoiling their life. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, unemployment is another disease that is significantly contributing to mental health issues among the Ugandan youth today. The lack of job opportunities lead to feelings of hopelessness.
Overruled. Rejected.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. The lack of job opportunities lead to feelings of hopelessness, despair, and stress, which can escalate into depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts among youth. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, unemployment leads to the following: poverty and financial distress, where the stress and uncertainty of living in poverty can lead to anxiety and depression among the youth. Limited access to education and job opportunities, and before you know, this will have perpetuated
Yes, Honorable. You are allowed. Honorable, you can take your seat. Members, if you've raised a point of order and you're given a podium, talk even if the microphone is not there, because we want to save time.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for your clarity. We didn't know that when the microphone is not there, you are supposed to speak because the recorders are here. That is their role. And our voice need to be recorded and extend the part of Uganda. The point of order I'm raising, as a young youth who are overwhelmed to be leaders in Uganda, we don't do all based on the perception of the data within the community. As a senior citizen within Day, I'm even wondering that the subjection or the data the current speaker is giving is no longer there in DOI. Can we have the document?
Honorable member, I wanted the procedure matter you're raising, because this seems more of an information than...
I'm laying the background so that you understand more. Because without the background, even the root, the branches cannot stand when the stem is not there and the roots. So I wanted the data the pre-current speaker is raising, that the overwhelming youth in the sub-county, which is a redundant, let him give us the document and table there with the particular village or the parish, so that we know, since I'm from Dei, how comes that I'm unaware? Thank you.
You're welcome. Honorable, I want to guide the House. If a member is still justifying the reason behind his motions, first allow him and give him the time, then you can raise your information thereafter in discussion, because you have discussion time to all these motions that are being put. So for that matter, Honorable Rogers, you can continue.
Thank you so much. Before I gave a key study from the sub-county where I live, I don't know where you come whether you come from the sub-county, but I come from the sub-county and I know what I'm talking about. So before I gave that example, I first drew your attention to the national survey that was carried out by Uganda Bureau of Statistics. This is a national thing. And I think you have social media platforms. I mean, you have internet where you can Google this thing and get the information. Because these U-boats do not only do survey in the sub-county, but it is within the whole country. But the key study of the sub-county, it was because I come from there. So I request you that you stop interrupting me as I move on. So, Right Honorable Speaker was on the point that unemployment leads to limited access to education and job opportunities. And before you know this would have perpetuated a cycle, making it difficult for young people to acquire the skills needed to secure better paying jobs. Right Honorable Speaker, according to the recent research, 12% of Uganda's population, approximately 5.5 million people, suffer from mental health issues in regard to unemployment. 30% of children aged 11 to 17, these are young people, experience emotional and behavioral issues such as depression and anxiety due to unemployment. Suicide rates have increased by over 30% in the past years in regard to unemployment. So all these are what we, the young people, are going through, and that's why there is need for government intervention. Otherwise, we will be killing the future of the future generation, and therefore this nation will be full of stupidity and madness, including the government institutions. As I conclude, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I want to employ you to a stipulation that was made by one of the scientists. You know, in this country and even globally, you have so many scientists. There was a scientist who stipulated that every human being you see around you here is full of madness and stupidity. Only that the level of madness and stupidity varies depending on what that person is going through. I read something like anxiety, depression, and all that. That's why sometimes you can even speak to your neighbor and he or she doesn't respond to you. You don't know what that person is going through. So the degree of madness and stupidity varies. That's what you should know. And for that matter, if these youth are just left like that without taken care for, then this thing of drug abuse and unemployment will bring anxiety, despair, hopelessness in one's life, which will introduce us to highest degree of madness, and therefore this country will have been betrayed, resulting into social, political, and economic pandemic. Right Honorable Speaker, I hereby commend this motion to the House. Thank you.
Welcome. So you can have your seat. Yes, members, we have heard how Honorable Ofoirot Rogers defended his motion, and I think we are subjecting this to our discussion. So if you have an issue or recommendation to put forward, yes, I would really prefer we talk on recommendations as we, actually the recommendation should be guided by facts. So I like what Honorable Rogers did. He brought to our disposal facts the matters from the recent research from UBOS. So that is so good, and I really welcome us all for this discussion. Can we discuss this motion and we have a recommendation and we dispose it off? Yes. Your submissions are welcome. Yes, Honorable. I recommend you start by introducing your name, and yeah, from there you can bring in your. Wait.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues of this West Nile Regional Youth Parliament, colleagues, I go by the names of Oirwoth Dennis. I'm the European Union Youth Sounding Board delegate from West Nile, and I'm here to support the motion that my beloved friend and brother Rogers has moved. Colleagues, I'm not here mandated to talk about this, but as a youth, I feel that it's the right time. They have always said that the future is now, and indeed, the future has come now for us to stand up, stating facts and speak truth about this very important subject, especially relating to the mental health of the young people. Just to give you numbers, dear colleagues, across West Nile, if you walk the streets of West Nile, you'll probably, in the next 100 meters away from you, you'll meet someone with really rugged hairs, very dirty, in rugged clothes, and that's just a reflection of the very many things. Just to give you fact, in 2022, the Arua Regional Hospital reported that 31% of young males in West Nile start abusing drugs before the age of 18. And this is actually manifested by the very numbers that I'm talking about on the street. Colleagues, honorable colleagues, I will urge you all to support this motion so that we, as young people, tell the government that it's time now to act, or else we have a wasted generation, unproductive, which will only and only lead to our country crumbling in the future. But I will not only stop there, honorable colleagues. Let me also guide you with the following. We have actually laws in place, but as usual, in this country, implementation has been lacking. I want to refer you all to Article 34, Clause 2 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, which demands for child protection, and also Article 20, Clause 1, which guarantees dignity and protection of these very young people. But as our government, nothing so far has been done to put in place facilities which can help these young people who are engaged in drugs to recover. But even before we move to recovery.
Yes, Honorable, your recommendation as well, as you argue the issues.
Yes. Well, as I go to the recommendation, you find out that before the government moves it to even, helping these young people to, come back to their senses, I recommend that the government should put in place mobile facilities for rehab and counseling, and should also make sure that. Thank you.
So, welcome. That has been just. I think you first finish with your recommendation very fast. Read it for us very fast, and yeah.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. I'll be so quick, like a lightning.
In 30 seconds.
Thank you, sir. So I strongly recommend that the government enforces bans on harmful substances like thinner, especially, which causes the neural senses of young people to actually go numb very fast. And I also recommend that we integrate drug education in schools, and should also institute community programming that teaches young people to know more about how they can deal with addictions. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Wow, just a great recommendation. It is still open. The floor is still open. You can still discuss this motion before we move to another item in the order paper. So if there is any other submission, yes, I still welcome. issues to do with drug abuse? Yes, members? Honorable members? I really feel there's a lot we can do beyond what he's submitted to us. Therefore, I expect us to have more recommendations. Yes, Honorable, you're welcome.
Thank you, Speaker. I, Honorable Orombi Philip, a youth leader from Panyumu Town Council. I do rise up to give some light on the escalating rates of drug abuse which is affecting the youth of West Nile. When you see, as my pre-speaker said, indeed, our youth of West Nile, we are facing difficulties everywhere, in every village and every corner of this region. I do recommend that these youth, they are involved in this drug abuse simply because most of them, they are idle. I recommend that if government can also give a helping hand, instead of bringing more sport for our youth, so that the youth can be active, and during those activities of the sport, the different sports, where we find only few players, maybe the private sectors are the one maybe encouraging. We find maybe the individual, they are trying just to organize sport for the youth. But if the government can also come in with a bigger hand to support the different sports we are having. And as for the West Nile, we are great that we're having our River Nile, whereby we can do a lot of sport, like the rowing, the swimming. This can put our youth very active so that they cannot indulge themselves in the drug abuse. I beg to submit. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable, for keeping time. And actually, such a brilliant submission on the issues of drug abuse. Of course, we strongly believe that if we are active and if people are active, it eliminates chances of idleness, hence also contributing to a greater percentage. Can we have another contributor to this motion? Yes? Honorable, you're welcome. I recommend you start by your name and you can proceed. If you want to say something, if you want to contribute, I encourage you to rise up the way he did. That will help us.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank you for the clarity you gave per now, because I was also going to say that in Parliament, you don't clap your hand, you don't raise up your hands. When someone has given a good point, you bang your legs. Now when you want to speak, you stand up. You may stand many as possible. If you have not caught speaker's eyes, you cannot be paid.
Honorable, start with your name and remember you have only 2 minutes.
I, Honorable Moise Edward Pachuto, a youth representing Pakwach District. On the issue concerning drug abuse in Uganda, particularly in West Nile, it is not that as we youths, we were willing to be redundant within the community. One of the greatest challenges about the war, you know, West Nile was affected by a war for so many reasons. So as we lost many parents within the country in West Nile, and we were caretaker, we started to be parents when we were very young. So our interest was to be in school. There were no someone to push us behind paying school fees, directing us in a very good way, so that we can be in school for long time, and we take our initiative in a very good activities. I'm urging the government that since West Nile has passed through a lot of wars, they should consider West Niles in different ways. One, opening the youth hubs within here. It's like we are paying for the deaths of our parents who passed away. Two, considering the youths here, skilling them in different axes, taking them to those ends of Central to see whatever is taking place, because our mindset has been distorted. To bring the mood back, we need to be well equipped with so many advice. Then, secondly, our youths, as my colleagues was giving the data as in day, you know, typically we people of West Nile who are paying, they were paying us using the money we raised over fishing, doing the fishing, business fishing. So nowadays the operation is very tough over the water. Our parents could not raise any money taking us in school. Now when there's no fees, definitely you are not supposed to go to school. You may go there, the administration will chase you away. So we are urging the government that since they are doing a lot of operation over the water, they should stop in case they want youths in West Nile to learn more as if they are children in central government. Two, the bursaries they are giving under State House, under central government, particularly it feeds people within the central. We youths in West Nile, we are not getting it. That's why you will find us, we have stopped in senior 4, we have stopped in senior 6, but going to university, it becomes very hectic for us to go there. And the bursary does not feed us, so let them address that. If the bursary is being given, should be for greater Ugandans, as well as West Nile. So I beg to submit since the time is not my best friend. Thank you.
Maybe I thought of giving you like 5 seconds to recommend on the bursary issues that you've raised.
The bursary issues I've raised that since they've given slots of 1,000 youths, if the data indicates that based on the performance, if we are not qualifying very well because we are affected by a war, they should give the data on the districts. That since we have 13 districts in West Niles, maybe 10 for West Nile, then the whole West Nile, we shall give either one in Pakwach, 2 in Arua as a city, then 2 in Ajumani, then Nebi. That one we can qualify. But if we give a high percentage of what? Of qualification, definitely we are not going to qualify because we don't attend class regularly.
Thank you.
You are supposed to attend class, you are outside, you have been chased because of school fees.
Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Of course, we must know that we also have district water systems and other avenues that is giving us some of this kind of podium to learn. For gender balance, allow me welcome Honorable to take over the podium and give us his deliberation.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. By names, I'm Ali Ngukoru from Arua, an aspiring candidate, female youth councillor. To add on to my fellow honorable speech, talking of Arua currently, the increased number of hospitalized has, however, so far put pressure on the bed ward built in 25, which now admits average of 74 patients per month at Arua Referral Hospital. That says the increase of drugs, the drugs that youth are using has so far increased in number, which is now over-exhalating all over the region. So I appeal the government should at least help see through this that we can fight the drugs, a way to fight out the drugs that the youths are using. So far that is implementing so much, which has brought a lot of mental issues on them and which has brought weaknesses. So I therefore appeal the government should please see us through this and fight the drug abuse cases in West Nile. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Yeah, it is really a challenge for us in the areas of drug abuse, especially in our deep villages. You find people sneaking, abusing drugs, different types of drugs, but of course our voices matters in everything. Do I have one more? Yes. I have always seen him rising. Can I give him a podium?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my brother for moving in this important motion. I'm Alfred Keronga, also a leader in my village. I rise up also to echo out this important message that the escalating mental disorders that are being caused by the drug abuse, as well as unemployment opportunity amongst the young people. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the community that some of us come in, indeed, we are really, really being disturbed by these people, yet we are also doing little to help them. I want to urge all of us, as we are discussing this, we need to also to take self-responsibility. As much as we are blaming the government, we are blaming maybe any other partners, we also need to wake up and take self-responsibility. And in that, I urge us all that we need to always encourage awareness. Let's try as much as possible to create awareness within the society that we are living in, such that we can pull up these people and we move together with them. Because when you move along, maybe if you are moving around the place that you are in, you will find that most of these people, almost most of their times, they are sitting, they are chewing, they are drinking. So we need to wake up and move out to these people, such that we can increase on the awareness. Then two, I also urge us to encourage forming groups, especially for us, the youths. We need to form groups, then invite some of these people, because when you're in this group, there can be opportunities to teaching, to training, or as well as skilling. So the information that they will be getting from these groups can help them deviate from whatever that they are doing. This is very important. I also want to thank this initiative because it is also key. As we are being watched all over the world, it is also spreading awareness as we are discussing this matter of drug abuse. So I really feel that it is important to raise up, encourage ourselves, and increase on the awareness in our various capacities. Thank you.
Yes, honorable members, thank you all for contribution.
With your permission, right up on speaker.
On this
speaker, with
very
your permission, can I give some recommendation with your permission?
I recommend you put them in writing and you submit to the clerk. Yes, because
Thank you.
we want to go into other items on the order paper. But of course, I want to thank all of you for having contributed and making up such a great discussion on the issues of mental disorders. Of course, we have spoken as people who really understands our communities and who really understands the need for an effective effort that is considerate and effort that will bring in change in West Nile. Thank you all. Can I go back to the clerk to take us to another item on the order paper?
Next item, motion to urge local governments in West Nile to develop an environmental protection plan in refugee host communities, especially now that climate change is an existential crisis.
Can I have the mover of this motion? The mover of this motion, can you rise to the podium? And there is Fadili Mande. Yes. Point of order. Accepted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are here to learn, to correct and disagree. In Parliament or Council, when a mover of the motion has moved and give all the background, if other colleagues debate on the motion, finally, it gives a leeway to a mover of the motion to answer the question which was raised. And then afterwards, you give the chance to adopt the motion to be as a working document before going to another motion. I beg to submit.
Honorable members, it is the procedure she's raising is very upright, but as well we can discuss all motions and then accept the ones we agree with after debating all the motions. However, I think for this particular session, we would honestly want to discuss all the motions, and then we can move into acceptance of each motion one after the other. Okay? Hopefully that doesn't offend you.
Speaker, as you are calling for
overrule.
Members, if the speaker has not given you mandate to speak, you do not have the authority to speak.
Yes, honorable members, I wanted us to give the mover of the motion 1 minute to answer to the queries, and then we go into voting for whether we are in support of the motion or not. Yes. Honorable Rogers, you're welcome. For 1 minute only.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I think so far I don't have any question. Who have asked me a question? Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
Who have asked me a question?
There was an issue of clarity from an honorable member asking on the data of the areas of day, something of that nature, and the sources. I think maybe...
Okay, thank you. I think I even answered that. I come from a village called Dei Amani Village, Hoima Parish. I think you're confusing me, you. What should I do? Oh, yeah. Okay. I come from a village called Dei Hamani, Hoima Parish, Dei Sub-County. And you don't belong to that sub-county. So, if you need any written document, I think it will be more useful to come to me. I take you there, you go and see things physically, other than writing a document, so that you can get satisfied. I thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Rogers. He has submitted relevant documents pertaining the statistic, including the data from UBOS, which you can easily access if you have a... And yeah, that is his submission. And may I ask the House, for those who are in support of the motion, to say, for those who are in support of the resolution the House has come up with, to say yes, and for those who are not in support, to say no. Yes? Yeah? For those who are in support, we say yes, and for those who are not in support, we say no. Those who are in support say yes. And those who are not in support say no. So the yes takes the lead, and the resolution on the motion can be taken into consideration as part of our collective resolution. Yes, Clark.
Thank you. A guidance for us. I know some members would like these things to go procedurally like the one of local government. Not everyone is equipped with this knowledge. We are here to learn. So if the speaker brings in some other guidelines, can we kindly follow them as we keep proceeding to go to the best that you want? Next item, motion to urge local governments in West Nile to develop an environmental protection plan in refugee host communities, especially now that climate change is an existential crisis.
Yes, can I have the honorable member who is the mover of this motion coming? Fadili Mande.
Yes, please. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues in the August House, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Afternoon to you.
Fadil Mande Wellborn is my name, as introduced earlier, a youth leader representative from Yombe district. I am tasked in front of you to move a motion So sorry, there is no stand here, but we have to come with the main evidence as much as possible. So you will forgive me, because this is a debate where we want to be with evidences. But I'm very sorry. Honorable members, I am tasked to move a motion to urge local government in West Nile to develop an environmental protection plan in the refugee host communities, especially now that climate change is in a critical crisis. Honorable members, allow me introduce to you and define what climate change is. We have unanimously agreed that...
Honorable member, can I have somebody to second the motion before you proceed?
Okay.
Yeah. Munguchi Victor.
Thank you, Speaker of the House.
Can sit down. Honorable Fadili, you can take a seat next to him as he second the motion.
Thank you, Speaker of the House. I would love us to adopt the motion, so I therefore want to second the motion for adoption. Thank you so much.
Oh, welcome. Thank you for seconding the motion. Yes, Honorable Fadili, can you proceed?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, once again. Honorable colleagues, members in the August House, allow me to move the motion as it has been anonymously seconded by one of the honorables. I am a representative or an inhabitant from Yombe, and Yombe as a district, West Nile as a region, has over 2,070,000 South Sudanese refugees. That is according to the report of UNHCR reported in June 2025. So the largest refugee settlement in Yombe district, West Nile in Bidibidi, which hosts over the 20,070 refugees that are from South Sudan. And these have been along Adjumani, Arua, Koboko, and the districts that are in West Nile. Honorable members, the Bidibidi refugee settlement, this settlement is opened in 2016 and is known for being one of the largest refugee settlements globally.
So in Africa, Uganda is known to be as a district as a country that is hosting refugees, and the West Nile as a region is known particularly to be the region that hosts the largest number of refugees across the country. So speaking with the audacity and with the experience from where we came from, this population has enormous effects that cut across, which are socially, economically, politically, to all the inhabitants that are within West Nile. But as our focus of today is in concern or is related to climate, I would just mention some few in regards to the climate change. Earlier on, I mentioned that climate change is all about persistent rise in the global temperature, and it is also about the long dry spell in the rain pattern. You can evidence this with me that this is now the second season, but where I came from, we have been in dry spell for the last 4 months, from January up to June. People in Yumbe, Maracha, Koboko, they are just planting maize now, when people elsewhere in other districts are now harvesting maize that have been planted earlier on at the start of the season. So all these effects, we are here to agree and we are here to say that have been attributed to the influx of the refugees that are from Sudan that are settled in our region. In regards to the climate change, the impacts on the environment resulted into deforestation. This is just as because there is increased demand for firewood, charcoal, as the sustainable source of energy that they are using to cook, to earn money. So as a result of this, there is a land degradation, which is resulted into soil erosion, because the land is exposed barely, and the trees are being cut down without any replacement. All because of this has attributed to soil erosion, and clearly it has affected the quality of land that we have that can support production. Because of all this, there is again increased pressure on the natural resources. The districts, the communities where we have refugees, there is always struggle for many resources like water. There is a struggle, like I mentioned earlier, on forest. There is an increase on the human and pathogenic activities. Simply because of all this, we are saying the districts where refugees are currently now in Yumbe, in Moyo, in Koboko, have been greatly affected due to the increasing influx of the refugees that we have in the settlements. This is indicated by the report that we have, that it was estimated that Yumbe host over, or West Nile host over 2,808,500 refugees that are from South Sudan. This is a report according to the UNHCR that I've mentioned to you earlier on. So because of this number of refugees, like I mentioned earlier on, there is a lack of element of climate smart agriculture. There is no way that people have been practicing sustainable climate or sustainable agricultural practice that can able increase the household incomes, that can able increase the productivity, simply because there is a competition, there is an increase, there is a over struggle on the few resources that people have in the communities where there are refugees. Right, Honorable Speaker, Honorable colleagues who are here in the House, allow me to bring this to your attention that concerning the environment alone, there has been filtering of reusable bottles all over. Thank you for reminding me as I came to an end. I would therefore, because of interest of time, summarize it this way, that West Nile being known as the district that hosts over 2,000 or 2 million refugees has been greatly affected in the aspect of climate, simply due to struggle for the few resources that we have, simply due to deforestation, simply due to increased pressure on the natural resources. So with all this, Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable colleagues in the August House, allow me to end here. Thank you for your humble time.
Welcome, Honorable Fadili, for such a great submission in regard to climate change in areas of refugees. We are welcoming submission from the honorable members, so I'm going to be welcoming around 5 submissions from the House as we debate these issues. As I had earlier on guided, let us debate with facts at hand, and we submit our resolutions as well as recommendations in the area that you would really want to government to intervene in. So the House is open for discussion. As I earlier on said, if you want to speak, you can rise up. Yeah, Honorable, you're welcome.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I, Honorable Rombi Philip, representing the youth of Pakwach District and also aspiring candidate for Panyumu Town Council District as a district councillor. And as my pre-speaker has tabled before us, the steps the government can do in concerning the environmental changes in refugees settlement. As he has stated, we have a large number, and the 2 million plus people where they are living, we are sure that these people, they are cooking. And what they're using for cooking is the firewood, meaning that the surrounding area, these people, they are using the firewood, which has been the tree, they are cutting tree, which has been in existence. And this cause drought and prolonged drought, as he has said, since this season, for the last 3 months or 4 months, in their area, they have not received any rain. And what the government is trying to do, we cannot see. The government is just silent, maybe busy on receiving money, but how to plant trees around, we are not seeing. As I can recommend, I come from a greater Panyumur, whereby for the last 5 years, I've been following. We have not been receiving rain along the Alberta Nile. But we have our local chiefs, the Ker Kwanga. When last year, 2 years back, when emphasized on tree planting, whereby he encourages every home state to plant trees. And he also encourages no burning of bushes or hills nearby. And as I can testify to you, this year, we started receiving rain. Since March up to this time, we are still receiving rain. I also request that if the government can also do give a hand that around our area of West Nile as a whole, that to put a hand that there should be no cutting of trees for firewood, and also to increase that the afforestation, which is the planting of more trees, so that we can also increase on our rainfall amount which we received. And we are also aware that we are near the sub-Saharan desert, which is just next to us from the Sudan here, whereby these days, before I can take a case study of last year, whereby we have been receiving high temperature. But as for me, in my place where I'm coming from, Panyamur, at least due to the rain you are receiving this time, it has reduced. My submission is that if the government can put in a helping hand to increase on tree planting and advocate that bushes and hills should not be burnt during the dry season. I beg to submit. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable, for being precise and to the point. Can I welcome Honorable to come and give us his submission? Yes, of course, the issues of climate change is something that has really affected the entire West Nile, and we can see there's a lot of change even in the seasons. currently. So it is something that we really need to put to the table. Yes, Honorable, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Looking at the statistics that has been given and to us, generally, if you look at West Nile.
From your name and your area?
By name, I'm called Munguchi Victor. I come from Maracha district. I said, from the data that has been given out, you will find out that climate change, it has created a lot of impact on our people and the environment. So therefore, if you look at the region as well, you find that around 48% of our people suffer from severe impact of climate change. So I would like to urge the government to enforce these bylaws that have been set on ground so that people don't cut trees anyhow, so that the environment is protected. Two, I would love to emphasize or encourage the government to advocate on the issue of renewable resources, especially the solar system that we can use instead of the charcoal that results into cutting down of trees. Three, I would love to say that let us take a responsibility, individual responsibility, by protecting these trees. As we move out, we must advocate that these trees must not be cut anyhow. At least we cut trees which are mature enough. Thank you so much.
Wow, welcome. Thank you, Honorable, for your submission and really straight onto the point. Honorable, you're welcome. So I love the way his recommendations were highly summarized. Yeah, thank you.
Right, Honorable Speaker, thanks once again for giving me the podium. Honorable colleagues, I don't think it's time to lament. By the way, my name's once again Oirot Dennis. I don't think it's time to lament on what has been done and what has not been done. The truth of the matter is, honorable colleagues, we shall agree that interventions are being put there in place, but to who exactly? To the people who are disempowered and are, beyond moved by poverty, that they cannot adapt these interventions in place. Reason being, these people actually, their survival mode depends on these very resources which are being destroyed, for example, the trees. I'm here to urge the government that let's use the basic structures of this country. We start with the schools, which holds a very huge number of young people who are going to learn about these topics related to climate change. We'll adopt it, and then the greening school campaign should be a language that should probably be integrated like the music that we hear on the street, being sung everywhere, so that from here to there, you hear about climate change, and they know how to sort their rubbish, how to manage their waste so that their waste do not get into the rivers. And we have issues of flooding like what happened the other year here in Pakwach, where the road was blocked, unfortunately, by a lot of flood that couldn't allow passage of vehicles to the other side of the country. So, honorable colleagues, you will agree with me that whether we call on the government or not, it's time that you and I, him and her, they should rise up today and begin to walk the road to implementing these things by tapping on the next neighbor to you right now and saying that climate crisis is an existential threat that is very soon going to get all of us buried away from this earth and the globe that we depend on for our survival. So let's begin to chant the song right now and say that climate change needs to be addressed now. Let's teach our children right from the very basic, our home, to the schools.
Of recommendation to the government, but however I want to recommendation to the government, but however I want to let the House know that our government is currently having a lot of intervention that are being driven hinged towards ensuring that trees are planted. However, the intervention are not enough, and I really encourage us all to join hand and we voice our opinion together. Honorable, you're welcome.
Right Honorable Speaker of today's debate, and the gallant audience. My name is Stephen Borochan, and also a professional MC. MC Labidadi is my next other name. Been in it for over 10 years now. I would like to lament on this great motion that says, motion to urge local government in West Nile to develop an environmental protection plan in refugee host communities, especially that climate change, especially now that climate change is an existential crisis, all right? So one more time, I would like to thank you all, and I would like to say that it's really true that deforestation and environmental degradation was really hitting in the year 2022, around December. I was personally in the camp. I was within Arua. I was always moving in the camp with the UNHCR and sometimes with Obulamu. I was doing other things. We were advocating for other things, but then you'd realize that most of the refugees don't even go to school to learn a few of these ethics of climate change protection. So I'd like to back up my brother, Right Honorable Dennis. I would like to back him up and say it's really true that if the government would open up more schools in the refugee host districts and implement that, the youth grasp an opportunity that gear them into learning ways of stopping some of these environmental degradation formats, it would be a very good thing so that the next generation could know what best they could do in order to prevent some of these environmental crises. And so, therefore, Right Honorable Speaker and the gallant audience, I would like to recommend that the government attaches this host district to also learning skills like making energy-saving stoves that can also reduce on the number of trees cut, because if more trees are cut, then we'll have the crisis going on. But the energy-saving stoves could be using very less number of firewood to at least reduce on the number of trees cut. And then also I would like to say that the government would engage with initiatives like Vijana Forward, who are a team that are willing to volunteer to advocate and even train a group of people on energy saving methods. And also I would like to recommend that the government should also engage the host districts into dialogue against deforestation, which is one of the biggest challenges. I'd like to stop here. My name is still Stephen Borochan, MC Labidadi, and also the PRO Vijana Forward. Thank you.
Thank you. I think issues of climate justice, we can not only talk about deforestation. Members, we have issues of plastic waste disposals that we can actually bring up.
Okay, allow me, welcome Honorable, to come and give us a submission. Of course, we are talking about also the communities that are refugee hosts. Of course, we know the pressure that comes with population and the pressure on the environment. So, Honorable, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. By the name, I'm called Ofoiro Brian, representing the youth of Zombo. What I would submit, one is, much as we are also blaming urging the local government to put more effort in fighting those environmental degradation, something of that kind. We should also caution the central government about that, because sometimes back, we had land forest, which was considered to be like the largest artificial forest in Uganda. But if I can remember very well, when we were still growing, I used to see the white lords felling our trees from our artificial forest, which is land forest, from the central government. And that one, it has not been like maybe something done by the local government. Again also, what I can also say is we can also go with this cut 1, plant 10. We know very well that we are still using our grass thatch houses, which also need like trees to be constructed, but it does not stop us completely from doing what? From cutting those trees to construct. Yes, we can come up with a cut 1, plant 10 to avoid our environmental degradation. Maybe another one also is by, our local people, they are ever using firewood and the charcoal. But if government could just come to the community of West Nile and bring some experts to train them how to use like biogas. This biogas, we can simply use them. We can get them like from our banana peels, Irish peels, and maybe potatoes peels. If our government can come to northern Uganda, to West Nile, and train the community about that, our community will be in position of using biogas, whereby they will stop using the firewood and the charcoal, and that one still also will also help our environment. I beg to submit.
Yes, thank you so much. Of course, the recommendation on climate smart kind of energy usage, I think that would really help us so great. Can we have one more submission from the Honorable in court? Yeah. Yes, Honorable, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and colleague, for giving me this opportunity. I would like to supplement on the few regarding the climate change and how to conserve environment.
I suggest you start with the name and the area.
Thank you very much. My name is Elia Alfred. I'm the male youth councillor for the sub-county local government, and I'm as well the sitting speaker of that council. As I was saying, I'm also in my capacity an environmental defenders and issues concerning climate change is what we normally deals with. Because now, when we talk of climatic change, it is not something which we need to wait for the mechanism from the government from the central government. Because now when we talk of government, we are the government. More especially the young people. We don't need someone to come from abroad. Because we all have the mechanism, things which we are supposed to do to fight climatic change. Of course, as environmental defenders, for us, we have a lot of mechanism which we are doing in place to tackle climatic change, more especially in the sub-county, which is bordering Democratic Republic of Congo.
Yes, Honorable, your resolution.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I hereby resolve that we should plant more trees. And also, we protect the forest reserve, as we are also doing, because we have very many forest reserves in those districts. Some are local, some are being managed by NFA. I beg to move, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, thank you so much. Of course, it has been such an exhaustive discussion on the motion of urging the government in West Nile to develop environmental protection plan in refugee host communities, especially now that the climate change is an existing crisis. Of course, members, we've exhausted a lot and we've come up with so many resolutions, but then allow me to also say to you that, of course, you know, a great number, like 2,800,000 plus statistic as delivered to us by Honorable Fadili is something that is quite demanding of a society. And I love the recommendation that you've given. However, allow me to welcome those who are saying aye in support of the resolution we have made. To say, you can say aye in support, and those who are not in support to say nae. Okay? So can I have those who are saying okay, accepted? Of course, Honorable, that was the same concern you raised. However, there was no issues that needed clarification in the due course of discussion. Yeah, I think he has been listening keen, and there's no sign of any submission again from him. Otherwise, he would have reminded us. But then, since there was nothing like any point of question of clarification and or question that needed clarification, the House has to move on. Okay? So we cannot force him to answer what has not been raised. So it is necessary for us to move on, and of course, we are moving by saying those who are in support of all the recommendation we've made to say aye. And those who are not in support to say nae. Then, aye takes the lead. Let's go back to the clerk to counsel. Honorable Fadili, can you take your seat back?
Thank you, members. We are going to the last item. Our last item is motion of the West Nile Youth Parliament urging the government to involve the young people in the governance affairs of the country as key decision makers, since they are the majority of the population.
As I welcome Honorable Shanpara George Bush to come and move for us the motion. Of course, Honorable Fadili. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Honorable Fadili, for the submission. Okay, can I welcome Honorable Chanpara George Bush to move a motion? overruled. Thank you, Honorable Elia. Honorable Elia, from wherever you are, can you come forward and move a motion and we move?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, once again for giving me this opportunity. I, Honorable Elia Alfred, male councillor representing youth of the sub-county, which is located in the northwestern part of this country, in Pakwach district, bordering Democratic Republic of Congo, do rise up to move a motion that West Nile Youth Parliament sitting of today, 11th of July 2025, urge the government to involve young people in the governance affairs of this country as key decision makers, since they are the majority of the population with over 75%, if I may be seconded.
Can I have someone to second the motion?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I remain Honorable Faraja Bush, a male councillor from Pakwach Sub-County, representing young people of Pakwach District as well. I do rise up to second the motions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Honorable Chanpara George Bush. Can I welcome Honorable Elias back to proceed with defending his motion?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The reason for youth inclusion in decision-making process and governance is that we have point number one is fresh perspectives and innovations, which says that young people bring contemporary insights, especially regarding technology, digital, and emerging global challenges like climate change, which can lead to innovative solutions and more dynamic policy making. Point number two is direct stake in the future. Youth are disproportionately affected by long-term issues such as unemployment, environmental degradation, and conflict, making their input crucial for policies that will shape their future. Number three is strengthening democracy and legitimacy, which include significant youth presence in governance, which can combat political disengagement, increase public trust, and ensure governance structures are more representative of the population's demographics, thereby enhancing democratic legitimacy. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to clarify some of the points. It is true that young people globally are the majority. When you look at the national population and housing census of 2024, the original data has clearly indicated that young people has exceeded from 75% to 78.93%. So that's the reality from Uganda National Bureau of Statistics. I'm calling upon the government. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg for more 2 to 3 minutes to summarize my point, if I may be granted.
1 minute. 1 minute for members of the House to debate the motion. Just you need to save time for them to debate your motion. Just 1 minute to summarize.
Right Honorable Speaker, I would want to request the government that we should have a substantive ministry for youth by not involving us with the children. Because right now we have Ministry of Youth and Children Affairs. And also funds allocations, financial inclusions in government programs, more especially for the youth. It is unfair that you find that the government is categorizing us at the same level of financial inclusion with persons, with older persons. Right Honorable Speaker, I request for
Time up. Let's observe time. Time up.
Thank you, Right
Members-
Honorable Speaker, for giving me this small
Members, I
opportunity.
think we need to bring out
I
the
beg to
gist of the
submit.
matter well. And why are we not participating in decision making? What is happening? Do we have the structures? Are they existing? Why are people not? Why are we, the youth, not leading? What is the exact problem? Let's bring out the gist of the matter well. What is dragging us down in decision making? Is it existing? What is letting us down? Let's bring out the gist of the matter.
Honorable members, as I am opening this house for the discussion, I want us to know that government has structures of youth beginning from villages, and these structures are supposed to take part in policy making. So I wanted us to bring this out clear. Where are we failing and what are the factors making us to fail and what are we recommending? Yeah, this would guide our discussion better and would hit the nail on the head. But no, when we are talking stories and let's hit the nail on the head. Let's not bring in global issues here. We are in West Nile and we hit West Nile issues. Okay? So allow me to welcome my dear sister to start up this discussion on this motion. Which guy? In the next 2 minutes, then I'll be welcoming my brother in court. Yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. How I wish your time factor does not work on me today, because it is going to be this moment. I don't know whether I will get a chance like this again. So I hope you consider that request. Yeah, remember with me on the fact that the youth, should I say we have been misrepresented? As the statistic clearly states.
Honorable, help us with your name and where you're coming from.
Atiero Nimungo Mavis, representing the youths of Zombo District. As the statistics clearly states that the population of the youth goes up to 70+%. But as we see the national policy makers, does this statistic really ratios, like the math is not mathing there, if you can see very well. 78%, and when we see people in the parliament who are making decisions on our behalf, they are not even our age mates. They don't know what we are going through. So as the youth of West Nile, we urge that we pick up ourselves, claim our space. We shouldn't let somebody else hold the microphone for us, because this population of 70+% doesn't need us to be sitting here. We cannot say that the government is having, I beg you to remind me, the youth structure from? Okay, the youth council from the village level. Okay, from the village level they are there. But are they existing up there? If I can remind you, last year in June, the parliament dissolved the National Youth Secretariat. And what are they talking about at the village level? Yet up there it has been dissolved. So there is no way you're going to tell us that something is not up there, but we should believe in it at the grassroots. It doesn't work. Someone should be up there to also advocate for us. Also, the report made by Kade, a student at Makerere University, stated clear that Uganda is among the top 6 countries that is struggling with depression-related disorders, and majority of those people are the youth. The reason why we are getting these problems is because the people who make decisions on our behalf at the national level are not us. We have let someone else do it for us, so they don't know our problem. Right now, we are talking about having the Skills Development Center. Balaam doesn't know anything about it. We are talking about the Minister for Children Affairs, Youth and Children Affairs. Who is he? Is he a child? We want, if the space is for the youth, let the youth hold the mic. Like we are here today. You cannot tell us that we are going to be having people who are in their 40s to go and talk about the issues that are affecting people who are below the age of 35. Therefore, I recommend that first, there should be a reformation in the election and political system. The Electoral Commission, should I say, they have hiked the prices of application form. For example, if I would love to aspire for the position of the national youth, not national youth, let me say the woman MP of my district, where will I get the capacity to have 3 million to get that application form in the NRM government? Do I look like 3 million? The job I have doesn't pay me that much. So, for someone to be able to deliberate on some issues like that, they should be people who are aware of what they are going through, and the system should be made affordable for them. Not just because they have the money. That's why, I'm sorry, there are districts who are sending people just because they have what it takes to be there, but they don't have the brain to deliberate on what the people in that particular district is really going through. For example, I'm going to mention Ajumani East, whatever it is from. And why are we sending Moses Ali back? Thank you so much. Honorable Speaker, you may excuse me if you're reminding me about time.
Of course, I'm not reminding about time. Let's not bring emotions in this. We are discussing issues of the youth.
And am I lying?
I request us.
It is a reality.
No, I request us. Yes, honorable members. I request us to avoid name tagging, because there are certain things which our constitution gives mandate to. For example, when someone is aspiring for an MP, for instance, he is making an example with honorable minister, actually deputy prime minister. The constitution is clear and it gives him mandate to contest. So it is him exercising his constitutional mandate. So let's not go emotional with that, and we debate on our own issues. That's why I wanted to guide the House.
That's why I want to urge the youth of that particular district that such a person cannot be able to tell the issues, the problem that you're facing. So let us, the youth, be the one to take such initiative. And we also have the Skills Development Center in the district that only admit one in Zumbu district, only admit one individual, one youth per sub-county. We have 17 sub-counties in Zumbu district. So I don't know when they will reach all the youths who were not able to go to school. That means the government should help us by bringing more of such structures. Why don't they organize some training for the first time candidates? Why don't they organize some training for the first time candidates? Like, for example, someone has just joined the parliament and you feel that he is green, maybe he cannot be able to put up the issues very well. We need training for such people. Be able to put up the issues very well. We need training for such people. Such that don't leave politics for people, for the elders, because it is something that affects us. We are the maximum, we are carrying the highest number of over the population. So we need our representation. Thank you.
So, welcome. Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable, for just Mavis, for such a great kind of deliberation. Of course, young people make up the greatest percentage, and it is really not upright if you are not. Allow me welcome the man I had picked before, and then I will welcome a lady again for gender equity. Okay?
Right, Honorable Speaker, distinguished honorees in this August House, my name is Gift Peter, a youth representing Koboko District. Now, I am here to table 3 recommendations. Given the comprehension of our motion today. Number 1, when you talk about youth inclusion in governance and politics, this has remained a hot cake. And I'm very glad that we are able to dissect it today. We make 78% of the population. And look at the affirmative actions that are geared towards the youth. You'll realize, number 1, that the positions that are gazetted for youth are very few in this country. I want to make reference to the youth members of parliament. Youth members of parliament for the regions. For instance, in northern Uganda and central Uganda, western Uganda, and then eastern, there are only 4. So that means only 4 MPs from the youthful category reach the parliament. And then plus the female youth MP, so making 5. Now, we make 78% of the population. Actually, by logic, by sheer intensity of reason, you expect that we could actually have more seats in parliament because the principle is the representation. So now, my recommendation is this. I call upon the government to come up with the law reforms to create youthful positions in every district, for instance, MPs. Imagine if we have MP position per district. How many MPs of youthful category are we going to have in parliament? That must be stamped. Because I have watched the current positions of youth MPs. First of all, they are wide electoral areas. In northern Uganda, you have about 45 or 48. I stand to be corrected. 42. How can one single person, a person like me fresh from university with no money, how can I campaign in all these regions? So that means it requires a lot of money. Now, there's a testament to that. The current youth MP for northern Uganda, last time he was being roasted in a WhatsApp platform called the Northern Youth Podium. There was one person who raised the concern and said, you know, we've been electing frauds, fraudsters. The current youth MP has never done anything. He has never come to our district. Very genuine claims. Now, fortuitously, this MP was in the WhatsApp group. So he gets to reply and he said, you know, how can I, after wasting over 200 million shillings in my campaign, how do you expect me now to come back to you and do something? If you check that WhatsApp group, you'll find that message. What does that show you? That this electoral area is very vast. It requires a lot of money. So when somebody goes through to parliament, he will not focus on service. He will focus on himself, recovering back that money. So we need to reduce the geographical area. That's why I'm saying we should make it per district. Very many youths are going to participate in it, sincerely. Because right now we have about 9 or 10 in the youth member of parliament for the different regions. And then in the female MP position, I don't know how many they are. I stand to be corrected. They cannot surpass 16. So what does that tell you? We have only 16 youth in the country, over 78%, 16 participating in that position. If you make it per district, how many districts are here in Uganda? And how many cities, how many municipalities? Very many youths will participate. So the second proposition to government is that we need to include youth positions in the District Service Commission. Because if you check the District Service Commission, there's no youth there, but other categories are represented. So we need to include the youths in those positions. Number 3, government should come up with a resolution to curb commercialization of politics. Even as I'm complaining about youthful positions not being enough, currently the ones present, there's too much commercialization of politics, making it hard for the youth to participate in politics. Thank you very much.
Welcome, members. Thank you so much for such a submission. Mr. Peter, you've really elaborated a lot of issues which really caught my attention, being one of the person aspiring. Of course, you will find that a lot, the politics is honestly commercialized and you need to waste a lot of money to get into the office, really. So allow me welcome this lady. I saw she stood before you, so I'm giving her the chance. Yeah. So summarize your point. Summarize the point well, so that we are able to save time. Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm called Gramia Maria. I've come to give my recommendation on the motion that is saying the West Nile Youth Parliament urging the government to involve young people in the government affairs of the country as key decision makers, since they are the majority of the population. Yes, as we all know well, the youth covers 78% of the people of Uganda. Why don't we raise up? Yes, we have leaders, we have councillors at village levels, sub-counties, district, and even national, but are they doing what they are elected for? That's a question for you. You can think about it, but I'm going to give you why their voice are not being heard. Okay, as I told you, we have all the leaders at different levels, but their voice are not being heard. They are just participating in a symbolic way. Their participation are not meaningful, like in a way that the consultations are not being done direct to the people who are being consulted. Like when they're supposed to bring something for the youth of Pakwash, they're not consulting people of Pakwash. They go to other people, or they always get their sources from different people, but they just bring what they think can help, yet it cannot help us. So the youth, let's urge that, let's ask and bring out our voices, and we say, if you are elected as a youth MP, go and do what you're taking. That don't go for yourself, like for your conflict interest. Don't go and start taking yourself and say, maybe I wasted a lot time for campaign, or I wasted a lot when I wanted this position, so I have to recover what I got, what I spent. Now, as a results decision may look good on paper, like the result of consulting wrong people, the decision might look good after a consultation, but it will not be real when it comes on ground. Now here it says, the issues are like unemployment, mental health strategies, domestic violence, and even access to ICT. But now, the question comes again. What can we do the youth? Let's not be putting blames and pointing fingers, but we should be responsible. Let's raise up and do something good. That is it. Let's rise up and do something productive. If you know that this person is the person who is supposed to raise your vote, your voice, what did you do? We all know we're already there in the system. Given that chance to take our voices, but it is not reaching. What did you do about that? That is the question, but I think I still have more time. Now, my recommendation is we request the government to support the youth organization to collect data on the youth challenges and opportunities. So that decisions are based on real evidence from the young people. Okay? Then the next thing is invest in the leadership capacity building. The next recommendation is organize regular youth government dialogue at all levels, not only national, but from the local people, because we are suffering down here after sending someone at a higher level. So we should have dialogues from the local people down in the villages. Then another one is include young people on the key decision-making bodies. We should include all, like in all the decision-making bodies should include our youth. Then another one, I think is the last recommendation. The government should give clear legal budget mandate to influence all levels. They should give youth a clear legal mandate at their own capacity. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable, for just a great submission. Of course, the involvement of youth in policy programs in key decision making is a very key thing that drives the whole nation. And I want to invite another one more speaker. This time round, I'm inviting another gentleman and maybe one lady. Let me have the man in court to also say something. Of course, for those of you who have submission, you have recommendations, you can write them down. If the papers are not there, I believe there are people behind who can help you have for your papers. You write the recommendation so that we compile the resolutions together. Okay? So, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, dear Right Honorable Speaker. I really want to make my submission too on this motion of the West Nile Youth Parliament urging the government to involve young people in the governance affairs of the country as it is majority of the population.
Your name? Your name?
My name is Honorable Ofoirot Rogers, one of the youth leaders within Pakwai district. So one of the speakers, while you were submitting here, the speaker who is guiding the House said, what are the problems that we have as youth? Don't we have youth structures that are serving our interest? Yes, you can have a structure of something, but that structure that has been put in place may not serve its interest. I'll give you an example. You can have farm structures. For example, you can have a milking parlor on your farm. That is where animals are milked, where they produce their milk. But due to some reasons, your animal may not be producing milk. And therefore, that structure will be in place, but it will be useless. So that's what is happening in the country today. You have a representative who is in charge of children and youth affairs who was born in 1979 and is now counting 44 years and is out of our age bracket. Is not among these 78% of the population that we are talking about. And before we know, he might be representing the interests of his masters, the older people that he is serving. You have in charge of children and youth affairs who is serving his master. When the masters abduct people, abduct the young people and put in basements, he comes out and praise them. That is the kind of a leader that you have that is presenting your issues. How can this work? So, I think the problem that we have right now as youth, we have a problem of decentralization, the extension of power, authority, and decision making from the central government to the local government. And I'm telling you, colleagues, if you have been keen enough, you can bear me witness that the extension of this power and decision making from the central government to the local government is not more than 30%. And in the next 30, 20 years, these powers and decision making that we are talking about, that is extended from the central government to the local government, will be no more. And therefore, we shall become very useless in the different jurisdictions that we are in. So I think the problem that we have now, as far as governance and leadership is concerned, is thing to do with policy setup. And that is the problem we are facing. We are facing problems in our various communities. And if you are to deal with these problems, we need to identify the problems, we need to set agenda, we need to set up policy, we need to adopt the policy, we need to implement the policy, and these are the things that we are supposed to do by ourselves from the local government. But we find in most cases, all these core principles of policy setting are dealt up with by the central government, and what comes here is just implementation of what has been agreed on there. And that's why our interests are not being catered for. So I appeal to the government that youth should be fully involved in policy setup and decision making to at least 60% so that we can be fully engaged. That's what I appeal to the government. I'm telling you, nowadays even the parliament itself and the judiciary, which is the structures in the central government, does not work. But what works nowadays is president's office, and that's why our interests are not being served. So I really want to thank you so much. That's why I can stop, and I move this motion.
Okay. Thank you for elaborating. Can I welcome the last person to give my sister? Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I would like to be brief. Allow me to talk about budget conferences. Among us all.
Help us, the name and where you're coming from.
I'm Radiva Siasafrict. Sorry? Allow me to talk about budget conferences. Among us here, who has been attending budget conferences at the district levels? If yes, well and good. But if no, who are representing us in these budget conferences? And who are making for us the decisions on the monies, on the funds allocated to the youths? If no one, then we're in big trouble. If we are not in these budget conferences, the youths down there in the village levels, the parish levels, the money is allocated to these people. You find the implementations given to them, the decisions are made by those big people for the youths. And you find the youths have no option than to follow the decisions made by those people. They implement in them. Secondly, allow me to talk about parish development model. This project from my sub-county, that is Bijo from Yumbe. You find these people who are getting this money, you find all the people are the ones receiving. Most of them are the old people receiving this money. And the youths are there, just scattered, the drugs are everywhere. And this money is supposed to be used by these youths to develop them in other things. Now, if the old ones are the ones spending the money, where do the youths land? So we should focus on that. And these people who are managing this Paris Development Model Program, you find they are not the youths. They are not the youths. Now, where will the youths get the time to make decision on this money? I beg to submit. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Honorable. She's called. Ratuba, thank you, Honorable Ratuba. I wanted to clarify on these issues. The budget process starts from the village, where at the village sitting, youth representatives are supposed to be invited. They are often invited, but sometimes we shy away from these activities. You get it? So it goes to parish level where also youth representatives are invited always. And then it goes to sub-county up to the district level. And even in the district level, representative of youth from different youth settings, like the councillors and also the youth councils are invited. The minimum numbers we always see are 5 in that process. And we also, our honorable member also talked about the issue of PDM. Of course, that PDM fund, its distribution has appropriation of 30% for the youth.